Okay, so today we're gonna be doing a rain scene. So this is making it rain. And the very first thing that we're gonna do is before we bring in the rain, we're gonna create a puddle on the street. So what looks like we're in a European city because we're working with like some cobblestone here. So we're going to start out by fitting to screen. So you can do Command 0, Control 0 on a PC, or View fit on screen to expand. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the fourth tool down, click and hold down. We're going to use the quick selection tool. And up here in the options bar, we're going to make sure that we're on the plus and are going to click and drag to select all of the buildings. So you want to get all of the buildings, not the sky. The windows are sometimes tricky, so make sure take your time to get all your windows. You do not want to get the sidewalk. So there I missed a window, so make sure I'm just clicking and dragging. And the quick selection tool, as it selects like it's painting almost. So you're just kind of like painting over the area to select it. You do want to get the cone. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to switch to the minus up here, or hold down Option on the Mac or Alt on the PC to change it to the minus to take away any area that I got that I don't want to have selected. And I'm cleaning it up. Now I'm just gonna double check. Oh, there's some windows I missed. I'm gonna go back to the plus, add in those windows, and everything else looks so good. Pretty good. So now I'm going to do edit, copy, edit, paste, edit, copy, edit, paste. And now this puts it on a new layer right up top here, which you can see if you grab the move tool. Now we're gonna spin it around. We're gonna flip it upside down. So we're going to go back to edit, transform, rotate 180 degrees, which is like half of a circle because we know a circle is 360 degrees. And then from here, I'm going to go into free transform, which is Command or Control T, edit, free transform. And I'm going to rotate it oh, actually, I have one more thing I need to do before I rotate it. I missed a step. So I'm going to edit, transform, flip, horizontal. And this is just how I want it. And now I'm going to go into edit, transform, and free transform. And I'm going to line it up. So I want it to be a mirrored image. So I want to position it. I'm rotating it so that this is a mirrored image, because this is actually going to be a reflection in a puddle on the street. So once I've got that and it's the mirrored image, I'm going to hit the check mark at the top to complete my transformation. And now it's really time to turn this into a puddle. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add a layer mask. So if we go down to our layer panel, the bottom, the little rectangle with the circle, this is our layer mask. So on layer 1, I'm going to type reflection in puddle, just so I remember. And I'm going to add a layer mask to the reflection. So now I've got a layer mask here. And now I'm going to paint out the shape of the puddle on the street. So I'm going to do that by setting my foreground and background color to default black and white. I do that by using the shortcut D on the keyboard, D as in dog. And then I want black on top, so if black's not on top, hit X so that the white and black switch swap. You want black on top. Now I'm going to select the brush tool. The shortcut for the brush tool is B as in boy. Now, the last project that I did on this computer was the project with the words. So when I select the brush tool, by default, it's the words selected. So I got to go back up scroll the whole way to the top of my brushes, go to my general brushes, and click on, for this one I want to have a soft round brush, so the hardness on 0. And for the size, I'm going to work with about 50 or 60. And then what I'm going to do, now because I am on a layer mask right here, if I mess up, I can always paint it back. But I'm going to paint so that we can see the sidewalk still. And then I'm going to pull it out and paint so we can see some of the street. Okay, and then I'm going to, so now it's starting to look a little more convincing. And now I'm going to come over to my opacity, and I'm going to pull my opacity down to around 50%. You can kind of eyeball it. I'm going to put it right around 50. So now it should really look like it's a puddle on the road. Everybody's will look a little different. I can pull it up this way a little bit. So whatever, everybody's will be different. Whatever yours kind of looks like is okay. There we go. So now we're gonna get started on our rain. So now that we have our puddle completed, now we're gonna start in on our rain. But I did, oh, there is one more thing that we want to add, is to make it look like there's a little rippling in the puddle, and that's under filter. Filter, where is it? Let me find it real quick. Okay, so this is filter, distort, ripple, and you can go ahead and do that. It just adds, you can't really tell too much, but you can add that. It just adds like a little more texture into the puddle. And again, that was under filter, distort, ripple, and you can kind of eyeball it. Okay, now we're going to start in on the rain. So to do this, we're going to make a new layer. So we're going to do layer, new layer, and you're going to name it rain. And for this, we're going to fill this whole layer with a mid-tone gray. So we're going to grab our paint bucket tool, and we're going to click on our foreground color and choose a mid-tone gray, and we're just going to dump it in there. So this is what it should look like at this point. And then we're going to create a texture. We've done this several times before under filter, noise, add noise. Filter, noise, add noise, and you want it to look like static on an old TV. So for the amount, we're going to do 30% Gaussian for distribution and monochromatic. Make sure you have monochromatic on, or your rain will look colorful, and you want your rain to be the black and white. So 30% Gaussian monochromatic, and then go ahead and click OK. Now at this point, we're going to change the layer blending mode, which is right up here where it says normal, of our rain layer to hard light, right here. So now it starts to look a little see-through at this point, or it should. And now next we're going to do our direction of our rain. So we're going to do filter, blur, motion blur, filter, blur, motion blur. Now this is really important in here, the angle. So this is the angle that the rain is going to be falling. So if you want it straight up and down, that would be what, 90 degrees. If you want a little bit to one side or the other, whatever you prefer. And you can also play with the distance, whatever you think looks the most realistic. And then you're going to go ahead and click OK. So now you should have kind of like a rainy, the beginnings of our rainy scene. So we've got our rain layer. And now at this point, you could make it look, if you wanted it to look like nighttime, you could use a curves adjustment to do that. I'll show you how to do that. So you would go under image, adjustment, curves, and then you would just pull this down. You go in the middle and pull it down if you wanted to look like it was like a night scene. If you want to keep it daylight, that's fine too. I think I'm going to make mine like a night scene for this. And then go ahead and click OK. That's if you want it darker. Of course, that's it's maybe a little too dark, but it's up to you. It's your scene. Okay, now before we add in the people, the cars, whatever else to our scene, we're gonna add in a little bit of mist, like misty fog. So we're gonna make a new layer again. Layer, new layer, name it mist, M-I-S-T. And we're gonna set our foreground and background colors to our default black and white again, D as in dog. And now we're going to do filter, render, clouds, and you've done this filter before. Of course, this is your clouds filter, and we're going to change our blending mode on our mist layer to screen. Okay, and then we want to drop our opacity down so it's not quite as dark. And then I'm going to add a layer mask also to our mist layer, and using a really big brush on black on my layer mask right here. I'm just going to paint out so that the mist is just kind of on the very top, so it's not all over. And again, it's on layer mask, so if I would mess up, I could just redo it or paint it back with white. All right, now it's time to add some people, cars, whatnot to our scene. So I am doing a night scene this time, so I'm going to now pull up Chrome, and I'm going to, I already started my search, person walking with umbrella. So let me see here. You could always put on a white background to make your life easier for you. I think I'm just going to go with this silhouette shot for one of mine. Since it's night, oh, there's a bunch of different ones. Okay, I kind of like this one. I'm going to bring this in. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to, now you guys have done this before, so you're pretty good at it. I'm going to use my magic wand tool, unlock my background, and I'm gonna delete my white, deselect, and I'm gonna bring in my guy here. So I'm gonna select all, Command A, copy, and paste, and then I'm gonna free transform, edit free transformer, Command or Control T. And I'm going to shrink it down. Now, what's important as you're adding things into your rain scene, make sure you're keeping them proportional. Kind of make it so this person's headed towards the house. And also, now you want to put your person in the rain. So here, all your people and things have to go underneath the rain layer. So make sure you drag everybody underneath so it actually looks like they are in your rainstorm. Okay, back to the internet. Let me see if I can find... This one might be kind of tricky. No. let me just try a car. Okay, I think I'm gonna try this one. That should work pretty good. I'm gonna bring this in. Okay, so for this, I'm gonna try and select it with my object selection tool. I'm gonna click and drag a box around it. See how well it works to select this car. Okay, not too bad. I'm gonna clean up a couple areas by switching to my quick selection tool. It's on the plus and the options bar. So I'm just gonna, it will be pretty forgiving since I'm gonna be working with, my scene's kind of dark and it's in the rain. So I'm gonna do my best to make a nice selection here. Okay, and then I'm gonna copy and paste. It's huge, so I'm gonna do free transform. Now it is under my rain layer, so that worked out well. Whoops. Gonna keep working on to make it proportional here. Try and make it, well, I guess there's nobody in it, so it's gonna be driving, well, parked on the side of the road. Maybe that's his car. So we're gonna park it here. Now, what you might wanna do, is make some reflections. So for example, in the puddle, I could add the car. So to do that, I'm simply going to duplicate that layer and can use free transform even to flip it then. And for my reflection, I'm gonna drop the opacity down. And of course you could add a layer mask also. I'm gonna try and line it up a little bit better there. Let me also do that with my person. I'm duplicating it. Okay, so that's pretty easy way to do the reflections. And then I would probably go ahead and add some more people walking down the street, a couple more people, and there may be another car. You could do like a funny scene if you wanted to, or a daylight scene. Everybody's will be different. When you do finish everything, you're gonna flatten it, layer, flatten image, and then you will do file save as, save it to your downloads, your desktop, or your documents, or your drive, and then go ahead and upload it and turn it in.